look, everyone on the internet will, of course, there is a very strong rising sentiment of men's right activists तो बहुत उभर के आ गए हैं, खासकर false rape के अंदर, इंडिया में particularly.
Right.
You know, if you actually, when I was doing research for this podcast, after doing all my research, I was asking ChatGPT, tell me what are the most controversial laws, and I was trying different combinations to figure out what are the most controversial laws. Always number 1 and 2 पे marital rape, ठीक है, क्या कहते हैं, false promise वाला ये भी आ रहा था, ठीक है. But one thing that I find that despite all of this, that this movement, it seems to me that, and I'm saying this very carefully, very thoroughly after having thought about it as well, it seems to me that women also then get dealt a bad hand. क्योंकि अब क्या होता है कि जैसे कि मी टू मूवमेंट आई थी, फिर मी टू मूवमेंट बहुत ज़्यादा उसकी क्रेडिबिलिटी पे सवाल आने शुरू हो गए. इट एक्सपोज द फर्स्ट फ्यू मैन हु यू नो फोर्सफुली स्लेप्ट विद वुमेन, बट उसके बाद से ना इट सॉर्ट ऑफ गॉट इट्स होल्स पंक्चर्ड इन इट. And then this movement emerged कि men have been falsely accused after many men got acquitted of having never done anything. Now, with this movement of men's right activists rising and trying to fight against false rape cases, does this anyway socially impact women कि अब वो rape case नहीं लगा सकती या फिर उनके लिए अब कोई recourse नहीं है? Or, big question, do you think that rape laws are unjustly biased against men?
I would in fact agree with you that in the pursuit of men's rights activism, a lot of women's rights have been diluted to a significant extent. But
on the ground, आप मानते हो इस बात को?
I agree. But I also believe that there are certain nuances to this, and I'd like to explain. I say that you need these laws. A lot of these laws you need. It's very easy for men's rights activists, and that's why I don't really identify as one of them. It's very easy for men's rights activists. It's just like left versus right. Whatever my person says is the gospel truth, and nothing else can come in. The answer lies always in the middle, and here I also believe is the same thing as well. These laws are necessary, but the way these laws are dealt with, it's always a very knee-jerk reaction, right? So Nirbhaya happened, let's pass these laws. Then a couple of men committed suicide facing these false allegations. All of these women are like this. So it's always like a knee-jerk reaction, and I always, from the bird's eye perspective, I always see this happening like the pendulum swing. You've got one event, and then everybody goes crazy and goes on the opposite spectrum. And then another event happens, and then they'll again swing to the opposite side. What we as a society need to understand is that but the problem with understanding nuances and finding a middle route is it's not so exciting.
Yeah, it's not shareable on Twitter for sure.
Sure. And that is why you will find feminists completely silent when a woman abuses the law, and very clearly so. And then you will see men's rights activists completely silent on when a woman is, say, perhaps burnt to death, or she commits suicide, or something else of that nature
because
happens.
She was raped and she couldn't talk about it.
Whatever, right? If she's a victim in whatever way, right? Maybe as a bride, maybe as a rape victim, maybe, a lot of things happen, right? And so I always say it's about finding the middle route. It's never about this is right or this is right. So in this context as well, I have seen a lot of women who, I don't know, I've never, till now, I've not had women who've been genuinely raped, without, in the proper sense, right? In the way that, say, consent was not there at all, or there was, forcible sexual intercourse. I have not had interactions with those victims till now, but I've had a lot of interactions, and I've represented a lot of women who were subjected to molestation and sexual harassment of various ways, shapes, and forms. And this exact dilemma comes in a lot of these occasions. We are trying to register a case. We are trying to get justice, right? Maybe at the workplace, maybe, in the colony. I remember a colleague of mine, an advocate herself, walking in the park, a man comes and attempts to rape her, tears away at her clothes in a dark park, right? In a dark area of a park. And it took her so much effort to register an attempt to rape case against this man, right? And that too, when this was a poor laborer, this was not even some well-connected, influential man who was throwing money at anything. It was just so much of a task for her. And so, there are hundreds of other examples that I have. Women as victims are facing problems too. Now, the unfortunate thing is that false accusers are enjoying the process. The actual victims and the falsely accused are both suffering.